So we are back with another episode of the Ron's Way podcast, and today we have the iconic, the legendary Richard Lawson. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. All is well. Beautiful, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's like, as they say, living it and loving it.
So do you know, like, you're seriously iconic? Like, do you know how legendary you are? Like, do you ever look in the mirror and say, "I am Richard, I am Richard Lawson, and I accomplished so much in my years of living"? Like, do you know? Like, I'm only 30, but I love your career. I do.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. You know what? When you're in the, when you're in a road trip, uh, and you going to some great destination. So it's like,
Mhm.
so if I'm going to Louisiana or going to Disneyland,
Mhm.
um, you know, and I'm driving from LA to um, to Florida, right? I can't deal with Florida while I'm at 114 degrees in the desert. I got to deal with the desert, and then I got to deal with the Grand Canyon, and then I got to deal with the rock formations in Arizona, and it's a process. It's a
Yeah.
process. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's like one of the most beautiful things I ever heard was I think it was Franco Harris after they won the Super Bowl. Um, um, that he was champagne was being poured on his head and stuff like that, and he was like, he was laughing, hey, yeah, 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 blah blah blah, going through the whole thing,
Mhm.
eyes, and they said, Franco, how does it feel now that you won the Super Bowl? And Franco said, he said, yeah, and he's wiping the stuff out of his eyes. He's, yeah, now that I won the Super Bowl, um, uh, uh, um, uh, uh, he said, wow, I it's over, I guess. We just won. So he said, but what I do remember is that
Uh,
we were we were behind by 27 points in the fourth quarter when we played Cleveland,
yeah.
and we overcame that. And then we were behind in Cincinnati, and he talked about the journey and the things that the journey was the whole thing, and he realized that the Super Bowl is only the Super Bowl, and the winning of the Super Bowl had to do with how he dealt with the journey.
Mm.
And so that's what it is for me. It's the journey that is everything. The destination is that means you just got to start over.
Hey, facts, facts, facts.
Yeah.
Now, I know you have so much knowledge in that head. I know, like, you've been through so much. So, what are some challenges that you faced throughout your career that you would like to talk about?
Some challenges that I faced in my career. The the challenge of living one day at a time. The challenge of uh, having a dream um, and dealing with the day-to-day aspect of making that dream real for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just today, it's like, what can I do today? Checking off boxes.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge of dealing with negative niggas. That's the biggest challenge of all, is dealing, and I don't mean that color wise. I mean that in terms of
Overall.
the overall negativity of people and the lack of faith, the lack of the judgment, you look at social media right now, and the things that people create and manufacture. You know, uh, you look at something that said. I was looking at it yesterday. It said, um, "Well, Taylor Polidor plays the role of Kimmy in Beauty and Black,
Mm-hmm.
is leaving the show. She doesn't like Crystal, and she has these other things that she wants to do, and it's like, what? What? It's like, where do people get this stuff from? It's like, man, people have nothing better to do. They want clicks, and they want people to clickbait. So you're dealing with that, and So there's all kind of challenges, and
Mm,
the one thing that you have to do is process, pivot, and proceed.
mm,
And if you understand process, pivot, and proceed, then there are no stops in the world. There's only reroutes. There's a
mm,
reroute. When you have a GPS, when you put GPS in, and I don't drive the car without GPS now, because the fact that I understand that my destination, because you just never know when there's going to be an accident or road construction or a tree falls across the road,
mm,
and you got to reroute. You might have to go back down the street you came and go all the way around, but the thing has always taken you to your destination.
mm.
So, those are the challenges, but that's what, I'm built for this. So I'm good. I don't care about the challenges. There are no stops in my life. There's only rerouting.
I mean, you wouldn't be, who you are if it had you stopped and
That's
had
right.
you second guess yourself.
Yeah. See, what it is that God is saying, uh, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna change this up for you so that you can learn a little bit more about what you need to know. So
Ooh.
these are the challenges. You ask for
Mm,
strength, God gives you challenges to overcome, which makes you strong. And that's really the key of life. How you gonna reroute and take that lesson? It's no losses, only lessons.
mm-hmm.
Wins and lessons, not wins and losses.
Oof. Okay. Okay. I love it. I'm going to keep that in my pocket. I love it.
All right.
And you said wins are, say that again, Richard. Wins are,
There are no wins and losses. There's only wins and lessons.
mm, hmm, I would definitely use that
I
tomorrow.
don't care what it is, death.
Mm-hmm.
We all gonna die. And
Yes.
we can't, listen, time is the only account
Mm-hmm.
that you have no idea what the balance is.
Yes. Oof. You preaching today. You're
So
preaching today.
therefore, so therefore, so therefore, make the most of it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Live every day as if it is your last. Because you don't, anytime you drive down you drive down the freeway and there's a back up and a stop, and you
Mm-hmm.
finally get past the accident, and there was a motorcyclist and their bike is on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That dude did not wake up that morning with that in mind. So therefore, it's like you don't know what's around the corner.
Right.
But if you are present, you have a better chance of dealing with whatever comes in front of you. You listen to your 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 third eye. You listen to your instinct, your impulse, your perception. If you're paying attention, you get the message. You just have to key the message. Turn left here. But it's only got 3 more blocks. I'm not questioning. Let me make this left turn and go on about my business.
Okay, Richard. Now, my next question to you, Richard, is let's talk about Beauty in Black.
Okay.
So you did phenomenal in Divorce in the Black. You did phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
Thank
it's
you.
so crazy because when I talk and I interview Rico as well, and it's so crazy because like when I talk to you or Rico, it's like you know a good actor when the character they play is completely 100% different than what than who you're talking to right now in the moment. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you're a great actor. So you did good in that movie with Megan Good, and then
Yeah.
now you're on Beauty in Black, and
Yeah.
this character is heartless but ruthless. Like
Oh no, no, no.
like your
No, wait,
character.
wait, 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 wait. You say heartless. That man is driven by love. His wife is brutally murdered by you know
Hmm.
and left for dead
Mm-hmm.
by his own family members. He's motivated by love. Revenge does kick in, but he's the only one acting with love in his heart.
You should, Richard. I don't know because, but that anger is starting to, make its own route. That anger is starting
Yeah,
to come into play, even with the blowing up, with the house, with the
yeah,
judge. And I
yeah,
said, no, he did not do that.
yeah.
And I said,
Yes, this is true. But what his that man is messing with his money. That man is messing with everything that he built. That man is getting ready to snitch and you know, yeah. Now has Norman got his hands in some stuff? Yeah, but everybody does. Not to
yes,
justify it,
uh-huh,
not to justify it,
mm-hmm,
but listen, you pull the covers off of the bishop,
ooh,
pull the covers off the bishop,
mm-hmm,
and you're gonna see his hand in all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Because
mm-hmm,
he's huge. You know,
uh-huh,
you look at what's happening in this country right now, and it's
mm-hmm,
like, good God Almighty, people, the greed and the avarice and what people are doing and what people are, somebody just told me a horror story a minute ago that, a friend of mine is wired into the airports and he got in there uh, through programs that allowed minorities to have an opportunity. And he's got successful operations in airports all over the country.
mm-hmm,
They're now having to re-up and re-qualify after years of having this business going. Now he's got to go back and get in line again uh, because of the new administration. And it's like, man, they're tearing down all
mm-hmm.
of the infrastructure that allowed people to have lives. Look at what they do in the Social Security. 300,000 people may lose their Social Security. So it's like, look, we live in a world where people do things in order to secure their future of one kind or another. And so they're messing with my man's money and his inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just protecting himself, but he is driven by love.
Hmm. I like how you put that. I do. I like how you put that. Now, when you
Yeah.
got the call to do Beauty in Black, like what was your first thought? Like, okay, let me look over this script. Tyler sent you the script. Like, how did that whole thing work?
Well, Tyler, because I had done, you know, Divorce in the Black, Tyler called me and said, "Hey, I got something for you. You and Debbie. I got something for you and Debbie that y'all gonna love."
Oh, Debbie Morgan. Yes.
And so it was like, oh, okay. And so let me just wait. And then one day he called me and we were talking about something else. And he said, yeah, I'm in the process of writing and Norman is coming to me. So I'm gonna let you know when I figure it out. And then when he figured it out, I saw the script and it was like, whoa, man, that's deep. His wife gets killed. And now he's trying to figure out who did it. And nobody is fessing up. And one of them, somebody in this room did it. Somebody did it. I'm gonna find out who did it because there's the worst kind of betrayal is the betrayal of your family. See, that brings about, love and hate on a genetic level. You don't hate somebody you don't know or you
Correct.
dislike, but somebody you love can generate hate. That's the only thing that can generate hate is love. And so, the
So why are
fact
you
that we're
you're telling the truth right now? That's why I'm like,
yeah,
no, he can't be saying that because it's true. Yes.
it is true. It is true. You
Yes.
think about where the most damage in your life comes from. It comes from people who love you. You know, it comes from your first experience in terms of smoking a cigarette. It's probably a cousin or a brother or somebody. You
Yes.
know, any kind of drugs. You the first time you toke on a joint, it's because your older brother, cousin said, "Hey, try this." You know, and you like, try, and then, but then the good part about it is when you like say, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna die," you got your family with you, so you ain't out in the streets. So you learn all the bad habits from the people you love. So you're gonna get all the deepest feelings from the people that you love.
Mm. Oh God, you're preaching. And every time you talk, every incident comes to my head, and I
Yeah, yeah. Think about it. Think
say,
about it. Think about it. It's like it's all in the family. That's why Christmas
Mhm.
dinner is so interesting. You go to Christmas dinner and you got the family around. It's
Yes,
like,
and all these different personalities, and one does not, like like the other, and it's
hey, look, you got all this history, and you just
mhm.
waiting. You can almost write the
Fireworks.
script. Yeah, yeah. You
Uh-huh.
know, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you just hope that the ones that are like a little bit like gone out there,
Mhm.
it's like, please, Lord, somebody said to me, whatever you do, make sure Bonnie don't drink. And it's like, look, I can't keep up with Bonnie, but God, Bonnie gets a drink and everything is done then. Because when Bonnie drinks, it's a truth serum. And Bonnie be telling the truth on everybody. You know.
Now, Richard, I'm ready for next season. So, did Tyler call you? Did they give you like a date? Can you tell me something?
you know, they don't tell actors nothing.
Oh man.
And the reason why is for these kinds of interviews because people be teasing shit out there, and
Yeah.
then all you got to do is intimate something, and then the next thing you know, there's going to be like the internet is going to be ablaze with people making up shit, making their own minds up. You know what I mean? So they
Facts.
don't tell us nothing. They make sure they don't say nothing to talent, because everybody trying to gain followers and get people. I don't know none of it.
Hmm. It's a different, yeah, it's a
I don't
different.
even know if there's going to be a third season yet.
What?
I don't. Hmm.
We're gonna have a prayer. We're gonna have a prayer because I need to see what happens to Norman, next season. Like, does his character kind of develop more into a good guy, or does he kind of still fall below? Because I'm really curious. I really am curious.
Well, you just got to think in terms of Tyler Perry. You ever seen Tyler Perry turn a bad guy into a good guy, or a good bad woman into a good woman?
You're right. You're right. You're right. They just become better snakes.
They just, snakes grow. They get
Hmm.
longer.
Hmm.
They get
That is
longer.
very true. Now,
Mhm.
Richard, I remember when I interviewed Rico, and I don't know if you had the same experience. He told me that he got on set and production came inside of his trailer and they handed him a script stack this high, and he had to memorize all those lines in a certain amount of time. So did the same thing happen to you on set, or how did you prepare for this role on Beauty and Black?
Well, um, oops, sorry.
You're fine.
Um, well, I got the script before I went to Atlanta. I
Okay.
got all 16 scripts before I went. And so, when you print them up, if you print them, they're digital.
Hmm.
But I like printing because I can make notes on them and stuff like that. And uh, it's a lot. Listen, Tyler Perry has a very particular way of shooting. He will, we do a lot in one day, and we shoot, maybe 100 pages a day, and and we shoot 16 episodes in 13 days. And so that's humping. But you know that. And so you go in and you are prepared. And so for me, being prepared is that, I bring my assistant with me. So, that means that I find an Airbnb for her, and she's with me probably 18 hours a day, and I'm learning those lines with it at breakfast. I'm learning the lines on the way to the studio. I'm learning lines when we're in my dressing room, when we're on the van going to set, when when I'm off set or in the gym, I'm on the treadmill and she's right in front of me, or I'm lifting and she's there, and when we leave there in the van on the way home, and when we're at dinner, and then after dinner, all of that is listen, I put 1,500 hours into Norman in terms of learning lines and all of that, so that when I get on the set, I know it. You know what I mean? I know it. There ain't no question about it. It's well known that Richard Lawson is gonna know his shit.
I
And
love it.
so it ain't nothing, it ain't nothing to me. It just comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? That's just
And
part of my job.
that's really small. 13 days, Richard. Like, and I know some people, obviously you've been around for years, so you've been on other sets where it takes months just to film a season versus working with Tyler, which takes only 13 days. And I know you're exhausted to the point where you're about to fall out on the floor. Like, let me
Not
run
at all.
back.
I'm there for it. I'm there for it. I'm there. I'm working out. I'm going to the gym. I'm walking, in between. Like if I have a scene in the morning and then I don't have another scene until late that afternoon, I'm
Mhm.
walking around the studio. Look, it's like Navy SEAL training to me. You know what I mean? And I go there and I'm ready to throw down. I love it. I love what I do. So it's not like work. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
vacation. I'm on vacation.
And that's how it feels working with Tyler. Every time you work with Tyler only.
I work with anybody. That's how it feels when I work. And
Okay.
Tyler's just one of the people that I work with, and his is a very particular way, and I'm there for it. I'm good. I'm good.
Now, working with Tyler, would you consider it? And I ask everybody this, like, how is it? Is it easy? Like, how is Tyler in person?
Tyler knows what he wants.
Hmm.
He's very specific about it. He don't waste no time. So you show up ready,
Hmm.
and you throw down, and you got to be light on your feet and ready to move and ready to improv if necessary, and because he may throw some lines at you, or you may have some of your own, and
Hmm.
it's light and easy. It's deep and emotional, but I mean it's sort of like being, if you're a boxer, you got to be on your toes. You
Yes.
sticking and moving, and
Hmm.
so you ready to roll, bob and weave. And so it's like when me and Debbie get that work together, it's like that's like looking at Coltrane and Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella Fitzgerald.
You know who Ella Fitzgerald
Yes, I do.
is?
I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I love, and let me say this: I love Debbie Morgan. She's a great actress to work to watch on TV, and I'm pretty sure you had a great time with her and a great
Many
experience.
times, many times. She's been my wife 4 times.
Really,
Yeah.
Divorce in Black, Beauty in Black, and what were the other two, Richard?
The Royal Family Holiday, the Royal Family Vacation, and We the
Mm-hmm.
People.
We the People. God,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I gotta go back and watch that because that's so funny. She's been your wife 4 times.
Yeah, she wasn't my wife and We the People. She was a former girlfriend, but we had a relationship. And ironically, my daughter was in We the People with her, with the two of us.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Now, Richard,
Mhm.
so where do you want Norman's character to go? If you
Uh,
had the choice, like where would you want this character to go? Because
I I love exactly where he's at.
you do.
I love exactly where he's at. I love that there's a power struggle, and right now, Horace has the upper hand, but he gets it back, and it's a power struggle. It's like two men in a arm wrestling match. And listen, think this is what Beauty in Black is.
Mm-hmm.
Dynasty and Game of Thrones got together and had a baby, and Beauty in Black is the result.
How did you come up with that, Richard? Richard, how did you come up with that?
Think about it.
I think I've
Rich,
watched maybe
rich,
one
rich,
episode of Game of Thrones.
rich family.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them had rich families, and both of them everybody wanted power and everybody wanted to control.
Mm-hmm.
And in Game of Thrones, somebody would die just when you got to like them, something would happen.
Okay, you may have a point. Okay, you may have a point. You may have a point.
Mm-hmm.
You do. Now, what has the response been from the show? Would you say
One point
has it been a great response? What are people saying about the show that you've seen?
1.3 billion people saw this show in 1 week
Oh my God.
globally. 1.3 billion people,
Not million.
not million, billion globally. So that's what kind of response. It's like this show has people in a chokehold. People, people are caught up. It's like when you gonna come with the next group? When you gonna come with the next eight? And when is next season? And oh my God, because he knows how to get you. Like at the end of every episode, you saying,
mind
"What?
mind blown. Mind blown.
Oh my God, no, they didn't."
Mhm. Mind blown. And my favorite scene of you is when you walk in the office and they're all sitting down, and then you and Rico are just going back and forth, and you go and you said, I'm a chemist with a PhD." And I said, okay, I like this. Okay, I like this. And it's crazy because you have a PhD and you're still caught up in all that drama and chaos and family dysfunction. And I'm like, okay, they're all educated, but they act like buffoons.
Well, they're driven by control and greed and
Mm-hmm.
avarice and jealousy, and my father set it up like that because he knew that that this, and he set it up in a way that if one thing happened to one person, that's why you can't kill nobody. The nephews and stuff, you don't know in terms of having that car shot up, can't nobody prove it was me, but it was like if somebody dies or if something happens, then it affects everybody's shares, and so you can't go against the family, but so therefore you're cursed to live through this greed and avarice that is created.
Okay. Well, Richard, what's next for you? If not Beauty in Black, then what's next for Richard?
Well, if you can see right up here, I have a Richard Lawson Studios Substack.com. People should go to that and join me because I got all kind of delicious things going on, things that writing and interviews with cast members and other things that I create that's fun and thought provoking. And I'm doing some really, really deep writing over there. Um, so that's one thing for people to come and just, deal with me on a personal level.
Okay.
Then in November, the end of November, I have another film coming out called Aftershock, the Nicole Bell story, where I play Reverend Al Sharpton.
Ooh.
In the likeliness is shocking, actually. But it's a story based on a true story of Sean Bell, who got shot at 50 times on his wedding day in 2006. True story. And they got killed on his wedding, the morning of his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And that story is done. And there's some great performances in that. And so that's coming out. And then I have another film that I wrote, co-wrote, called The Third Act, which is a wonderful story um, about aging and creating this home that is a holistic home for elderly people who can rediscover themselves by doing the things that they used to do when they were youthful.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of cameos for older people, but then there's some young people in it, and there's animals in it, and special needs people in it. And but it's a very funny. It's a black comedy, is what it is.
I definitely
Great story,
check it
and
out.
I'll be playing the lead in that. Yeah. So, and then I have a memoir coming out as well. I'm working on.
Oh my God, Richard, who keeps
Yeah.
who keeps your schedule? Like Richard, you are booked and busy to
I'm suited and
extremely.
booted. Hey, look, it's like but see, that's the whole, my, I guess my purpose right now, when you look at a tombstone and
Mm-hmm.
you look at mine would be March 7, 1947 dash, and then whatever my
End date, right?
end date is.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm interested in is October 3rd, 2025 dash, and don't know the end date yet. But what are you doing with the dash? What are you doing to be youthful and to rehabilitate your body and your mind and your spirit and eating healthy and doing positive things and helping people and helping people understand that it ain't over. It ain't over. That you got to be active and that you don't have to just wait to die. That you want to refresh and recharge and regenerate your relationships. You want to take a look at what have we just settled on. Why are we just coping with just getting by when you need to be active and you need to be engaged? Like I'm into looking at men's health, in terms of prostate health, which is the easiest one for Black men, but we have the highest rate of prostate cancer, and it's the easiest one to cure, you know. And so it's simple stuff like keep your prostate active.
Mm-hmm.
You should be having 21 orgasms a month. Now, what does that mean? And but it's true. It's true. The science says it. They did a study. And so what does that mean? That means you need to be active. And if you need to be active, hopefully your relationship can support that. If it can't, then you got to take care of it yourself, because it's a muscle that needs to be massaged, so to speak.
Richard, I love it, and the fact that you're so blunt with it makes it.
At my age, what the hell else am I gonna be but blunt? I don't have time to
Sugar
bullshit.
right, right.
I don't have time to bullshit. I'm trying to extend that dash. You know what I mean? I'm trying to extend a lot of things, but that dash is.
Now, Richard, I post on my social media that I was interviewing you. So my last question, you do not
Mhm.
have to answer this question. You can say, I'll pass on that one. How is, again, you can pass if you would like. How is Beyonce outside of the lights, cameras, all that stuff?
That's an easy one.
Okay.
I have nothing but the massive, massive love for her.
Okay.
She's an incredible mother, the best. She's a one incredible artist. She's a incredible person and human being. People have no idea the stuff that she does behind, off the beaten path that nobody talks about, but she goes and she does, and she spends an extraordinary amount of money in terms of being, a support system to people, and I will always have a tremendous amount of love and respect for her and Jay. They're both incredible,
Mhm.
incredible people, and so you know, it's I would wish that more people would have the opportunity to be able to really understand who she is as a human being and what she does on this for this planet and for people on this planet every single day. So, nothing but mad love for her.
Okay. All right, Richard. All right. Well, that's going
Mhm.
to do it for the Ron's Way podcast. Again, thank you to the legendary, iconic Richard Lawson. I really do appreciate you for doing this. And like I said, you are
Man,
incredible. And
thank you.
I've been trying to interview
Look
Richard
at that.
for 3 months. What's the, oh, dreams don't have an expiration date.
Richard Lawson Studios.substack.com. Come and subscribe.
I will, because I want to see the writing process. I love writing. So I
Yeah,
will,
yeah, yeah.
with
Come
that.
check it out. There's plenty great stuff over there.
Thank you so much. And I hope you have
Yes,
a
sir.
great day. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
You too.